I'm Christian.
And I'm Vera.
In this video, we want to talk about the fuel burning heater operation in cold weather. Morning, you guys. It's cold today. It's at least -11, and we want to see how the cold start of the Discovery is. I'm gonna check how it starts up in two different methods. One startup I recorded yesterday evening when it was sitting for a day and a half at the same temperature, and it was a real cold start. Now this morning I programmed the diesel heater to preheat the car, and it's doing this right now. It's running, you hear it, and it's gonna go for another 6 or 7 minutes, and then we're gonna do the same start as yesterday evening, but this time with the diesel heater on, and we see if there's any difference and if it really helps the car or if this is a complete waste of energy. The diesel heater only starts over the Webasto remote if the car is in sleep mode. When you close the doors and you lock it, it takes about 2 minutes before it goes into sleep mode. Sleep mode is indicated by that red light in there. You see it flashing on the dash. This light indicates the car is in sleep mode. And if I would now pull the door handle, that would be enough to wake it up, and that would immediately turn off the diesel heater. Oh, I'm not alone anymore. You look motivated.
I'm all motivated.
It was programmed for 30 minutes, so we're gonna wait until it turns off, and then we're gonna get into the car and start it up and see how it sounds. And we gonna compare this with the startup we did yesterday evening when Vera was really concerned. It was rattling so bad.
It was rattling so bad.
We're gonna do a cold start. There we go. Okay, it made it, but it was close. And also, the Discovery 3 does not have any kind of controls programmed in to run the internal air circulation in the passenger cab. So really, to heat the cab, it's absolutely useless.
Oh, look.
Now it's off. Let's get in. You want me to take something from you?
Open the door, please.
This door is frozen. No, it's... Oh.
What happened?
I don't know why it turned on. Anyway, our neighbors are now awake. So, and now I start it up, and we get a good impression on how it starts up by looking at Vera at this moment.
Oh, please. Oh, it's all... Yeah, it's all smooth.
Shh. Oh, it's running completely smooth. There is no rattling, no shaking, no concerned smile from Vera. There's warm air.
Yeah, it's really...
There's warm air, and you can see it here on the indicator. So that makes a big difference at -11 degrees. We're gonna do a little drive now.
Oh, and you don't have to scratch.
But what you can see right now is that the temperature gauge completely dropped down to cold. Once the cold coolant mixes with the warm coolant, it drops the temperature down to nothing. So I assume that this little electrical pump is not circulating the coolant through the radiator. That would be kind of stupid to do that. So it's only circulating maybe around the engine block and maybe around the heat exchanger in the interior cabinet. What I can see now by looking at the gauge is that, isn't that interesting content? What I can see now that it's rising quickly. There is normally nothing quickly in a Discovery. Now, most asked question in regard to the fuel burning heater on our fuel burning heater video was if it can be used to heat the interior cabinet. And today this test showed yes, it does make a difference. Even if it is not running the internal blowers and fans, when programmed to run, it did heat up the car quicker. So that does work somewhat. But it is so difficult to use this thing that you have to do your planning according to the car. The car basically establishes your time schedule for the day if you want to get in it. And the reason I explained earlier is that the car needs to be asleep. We're talking about the Discovery 3. The car needs to be asleep for at least 2 minutes in order to start that fuel burning heater using a remote timer, for example from Webasto. After 2 minutes you could start up that diesel heater and then let it run for the maximum allowed time, which is 30 minutes, and then at the 31st minute you get back into the car and the car will be warm. So if you manage to plan all this into your day, yes, this will work. So my planning needs to start on the evening before. I have to get out into the car, set up the time where I want to go to work. That is very demanding, I think, and it makes this thing basically useless.
Yeah.
But today we managed to actually do that. I set it up yesterday evening just for this test today, and then we were waiting in front of the car at minus 11 degrees outside temperature until the fuel burning heater turned off. It only took like 4 minutes because we were too early. We also don't want to come too late because then the car is already cool again. So you kind of gotta wait in front of your cold car at minus 11 degrees in order to make use of that nice heat on the inside. So I think you get the point, and that should answer the question if it is usable as a heater to heat the internal cab.
Well, I read the comments too.
You read the comments
yes,
too?
Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
And I think they were referring to it, is it useful when you are camping, so when you are sleeping inside the car, not when you go to work.
This question did come up, can it be used for camping?
Yeah.
And the answer is
not
no.
that one.
No,
you
it don't work.
Setup.
It don't work. Yeah. And again, we're talking about the Discovery 3. On the Discovery 4, some of that is different. Go to the Powerful UK YouTube stream, and he's got some videos on the function of the diesel heater on a Disco 4.
But we also watched Grizzly and Bear, and they did a nice video about a Chinese diesel heater set up for camping, you know?
Yeah, that was a...
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good solution if you got a roof rack and you want to use it for camping and you want to use it in a roof tent.
Yeah.
And you want to go camping in freezing temperatures outside.
Yeah, like they are. Yeah.
Then like we will do every day.
No, but they are, you know.
Yeah. Then this is a good option.
Yeah.
Check this out. Basically, the car is now running for a while and it's unable to get the temperature into the mid-range of the gauge. And we're gonna go outside and see if the diesel heater is now running. And it's not running. And that gets me to the last point here. It's not heating up. It's supposed to run the diesel heater now, and it doesn't. And the reason is very simple. When you used the diesel heater and you remote started it over the Webasto timer, which is this device here, what I installed, it sometimes latches a fault and then it doesn't start up when the vehicle needs it next time. I had this happening before. So what can happen is if you started it using the remote on a Discovery 3, then you get into the vehicle and it's nice and warm, but while you drive it, the vehicle doesn't reach temperature because it locked a fault on the diesel heater and it can't start it automatically. So that's a big downside, and it really makes it unusable.
But the problem is then the Webasto control.
The Webasto control sucks because the diesel heater is not made to be controlled from an external controller. It confuses the signals on the bus and then it locks the fault. I'm gonna connect my OBD2 port and make that visible. Hang on. We gotta go Diagnostics, Land Rover. And then we go to Zuheizer Steuergerät, so that is the fuel burning heater, and we say read data streams, and we have a fault which is called flame detect before use. So why is that? When we got into the car, we didn't wait outside in the cold long enough. We waited only until the diesel heater turned off, and then we got into the car and we restarted it. So the heater was still warm. It was actually in the cool down cycle, you know, because the air blower was still running on the inside. And then we started the car, and then the car detected, ooh, what the hell? The diesel heater is already hot. So maybe I permit use now. And that is when it logged the fault, flame detected before normal use. And that's a fault which doesn't even clear automatically. I have to clear it using the OBD2. I gotta clear this fault manually. Clear fault. Succeeded to clear. I read the data stream. Now we got no fault. And if I now go into the data streams, I can check the status of the fuel burning heater by looking at the fuel pump and the water pump. Both of them are off. Now I gotta restart the car. And now we can see the glow plug is now on. The air blower blowing combustion air into the combustion chamber is on. And now it turned on the fuel pump. So now the heater will start up and it will develop smoke on the outside like crazy, and pedestrians will be disturbed, and small critters under the car will now at the least get out of the engine compartment. So all this is happening now. The neighbors are complaining about the smell. At one point it will turn the glow plug off. And if that's the case, so fuel is running and glow plug is off, the diesel heater is actually doing its job. So it couldn't be any more complicated, couldn't it?
I didn't get anything.
Probably takes about a minute or two before it will turn the glow plug here off. And that's really
all there is to say about.
I got nothing else to say. We really beat this topic to death.
You're like Baba Gum, you know?
Yeah, and that's about it. That's all I have to say about shrimp.
Yeah, that's all you have to say about diesel heaters.
Okay, there it is. See, it turned off the glow plug.
Yeah.
The fuel pump is still running, and the combustion air is still running. So now this thing is going. So this proved if you use your fuel burning heater to preheat the car using the Webasto timer here, it will cause a fault, and this fault will prevent startup when you first start your vehicle. That really sucks, and my diagnosis is then this function is useless. All the remote heaters on the market use the same signal to start the fuel burning heater. I bet most of them have the same problem. So I recommend to leave that fuel burning heater alone, unless you want your car making your schedule in the morning and you like waiting in front of the car before you get in. This is about it, what I have to say to the fuel burning heater operation. Yeah, hopefully there was something in this video what you enjoyed. If you liked the video, go ahead, like and subscribe if you like, and our motto is at least don't unsubscribe. And that's it for today.
Yeah.
And see you next week then.
See you next week.
Hopefully with something more interesting, right?
Yes, we are waiting for our spare part.
The ABS control module.
The ABS control.
Or the light windows are fogged.